The words hit me like a physical blow, sharp and meant to draw blood, delivered in front of 200 wedding guests who had just finished watching my daughter, Clara 29, marry the supposed man of her dreams. We were standing by the enormous, opulent three-tiered cake, a symbol of the entire extravagant spectacle, when my son-in-law, Julian 32, leaned down, his face a mask of cold, privileged contempt. "You know, Mark *. He sneered, using my name with a chilling lack of respect. "This family doesn't usually associate with landscapers *. Enjoy the buffet, but remember where you belong. You don't belong with us." The silence that fell over the small circle of Julian's ultra-wealthy family, the Hawthorns, was heavy with agreement. My daughter, Clara, my beautiful, kind-hearted girl, stood rigidly beside him, unable or unwilling to meet my gaze, choosing the wealth and status of her new family over her father's dignity. My life's work, building a successful regional landscaping and design company from the ground up, was being dismissed as unworthy, manual labor by a man who had never earned a dime. I felt the familiar, hot rush of pure, protective rage, but I kept my composure. I had anticipated this, knowing the Hawthorns' disdain for new money and self-made success. Julian's humiliation was public and targeted, meant to remind me and Clara of her place. But what Julian didn't know was that I hadn't come to the wedding empty-handed. I had come prepared with a final, devastating asset that would annihilate his family's arrogance in spectacular fashion. I simply smiled, raising my glass and saying, "Oh, I think you'll find I belong here more than you realize, Julian." And then, exactly on cue, the massive oak doors of the ballroom swung open, and a solitary, imposing figure entered. A man in a crisp suit carrying a small, yet immensely powerful, document. And everyone froze. Was I wrong to use my daughter's wedding, the most important day of her life, as the precise moment to launch a total financial and social war against the aristocratic bullies who dared to insult my integrity? Or was this the only way to protect my legacy and show my son-in-law that hard work always trumps inherited entitlement? Tell me, if your son-in-law publicly insulted your profession at his wedding, would you quietly leave, or would you use the situation to deliver the most humiliating counter-blow possible? My name is Mark 58. I built my regional landscaping business over 30 years through sweat, meticulous design, and an uncompromising dedication to quality. I retired comfortably with substantial assets, including a highly valuable portfolio of luxury properties. My success was defined by my hands-on approach and attention to detail, traits the Hawthorns despised. The Hawthorns are the quintessential old money family, their wealth derived from inherited real estate holdings and legacy investments. Julian my son-in-law, is the epitome of inherited arrogance, entitled quilled, and completely reliant on the family trust fund managed by his father, Richard 67. Julian spent his 20s drifting and criticizing people who actually worked for a living. The tension began the moment Clara announced her engagement. Julian's mother, Eleanor 65, the matriarch, constantly belittled Clara's taste, and, by extension, mine. The wedding itself was an exercise in one-upmanship, with the Hawthorns footing the $300 bill primarily to showcase their wealth. They insisted on a lavish ballroom, expensive catering, and an endless stream of snobbish relatives. I knew Julian's disdain was deep. He saw me as a relic of the working class, a permanent stain on their sophisticated lineage. I had endured months of snubs, but the final public insult, "You don't belong with us," delivered at the most public moment, was the declaration of war I needed. I had been planning for this for nearly a year. I saw the signs of the Hawthorns' arrogance and knew they would eventually try to separate Clara from her roots, likely by controlling her financially. My revenge plan wasn't based on emotion. It was based on cold, hard real estate leverage, the only language the Hawthorns truly understood. I had used a discreet real estate broker, Mr. Chen **, who specializes in complex corporate transactions, to do a deep dive on the Hawthorne family's assets. What Mr. Chen uncovered was that the entire foundation of the Hawthorne family's real estate empire, their apparent fortress of wealth, was built upon one single, colossal property, the ** 150-year-old historic downtown office building ** that housed their investment firm's headquarters. This building was the primary collateral for their major lines of credit, and, critically, the centerpiece of their social standing. The building had one small but crucial liability: a tiny, neglected alleyway lot at the back, essential for service access and the building's mandated fire exit route. Without legal control of that alley, the entire building was non-compliant and effectively unusable as a commercial property. Months ago, under the complete anonymity of a holding LLC, I had purchased that tiny ** alleyway lot **, a mere 500 square feet of asphalt, for a fraction of the building's cost. I hadn't recorded the transaction publicly, waiting for the perfect moment. The man who entered the ballroom was Mr. Davison **, a senior attorney specializing in property litigation. He was holding a certified ** notice of easement revocation and temporary trespass injunction **, the formal document to legally shut down access to the alleyway and, by extension, immediately halt all commercial operations for the Hawthorne building. As Julian delivered his final, arrogant jab about me being a landscaper, I made my move. I nodded slightly toward the ballroom entrance. Mr. Davison, perfectly timing his dramatic entrance, walked purposefully toward the head table. The Hawthorns were instantly recognizable figures in the city. When a serious-looking lawyer walks into their private event holding court documents, every muscle memory for panic and paranoia kicks in. Mr. Davison ignored the crowd and walked straight to Richard Hawthorne, Julian's father and the true patriarch, who was basking in the attention. "Mr. Hawthorne," Davison said, his voice carrying clearly in the sudden silence, "I am serving you with a certified notice of easement revocation and temporary trespass injunction, effective immediately." He placed the documents directly onto the pristine white tablecloth. Richard's face went from smug condescension to utter confusion, then blazing horror as he read the title. So that's the situation I was in. Julian publicly insulted my profession at his wedding. I had just activated my revenge plan by having a lawyer serve Julian's father with an injunction that would shut down the financial cornerstone of their $50 million family empire. All because I secretly owned a small, critical alleyway lot. The entire ballroom, including my daughter, was frozen in shock. I was standing right there, holding my champagne glass. Before I tell you about the utter devastation I unleashed in the next 5 minutes, I want you to pause and comment below what you would have done in my shoes. Would you have let the lawyer handle the rest, or would you have personally delivered the final, humiliating verbal punch to explain exactly why the landscaper now owned their entire foundation. I would not let the lawyer finish the job. The public humiliation was intended for me, and the counter-humiliation had to be delivered by me. Richard, trembling with fear, looked up at me, recognizing the connection. "Mark, what is the meaning of this? You can't." I walked over to the table, slowly setting down my champagne glass. I reached into my inner jacket pocket and pulled out a small, simple document, the deed to the alleyway lot, bearing the name of my holding company. I ignored Richard and looked directly into Julian's shocked, pale face. "Julian," I said, my voice quiet but cutting through the tension like a surgeon's knife. "You called me a landscaper, and you're right. For 30 years, I worked with the earth, with property, with the details people like you consider insignificant. I tapped the deed with my finger. This little piece of asphalt, the 500 square feet behind your daddy's headquarters, the essential fire exit and service access, it belongs to me. Because while you were busy trying to elevate your social standing, I was busy paying attention to the crucial, tiny details that hold the *** foundation ** together. I paused for dramatic effect, letting the full realization sink into the hawthorns. That injunction shuts down your entire building. Your investment firm cannot operate, your credit lines are frozen, and without that easement, your $50 million property is, for all legal and practical purposes, worthless. And the only person who can lift that injunction is the landscaper who bought it." The chaos was instant and spectacular. Julian was shaking, stammering, unable to form a coherent word. Eleanor shrieked and lunged at Richard, demanding to know how he could have missed this detail. Richard, the arrogant patriarch, looked utterly defeated, staring at the deed as if it were a bomb. The entire social scene dissolved into a nightmare for the Hawthorns. Whispers turned into gasps as guests, many of whom were business associates, realized the gravity of the legal threat. I turned to Clara, who finally looked at me, her eyes filled with tears, not of sadness, but of shock and dawning realization. "Clara," I said gently, "I came here today hoping I wouldn't have to do this. I did this not for revenge, but for your freedom. You married a man who despises your father. You married into a family that tried to put you down. Your father is a businessman, and in business, you protect your assets." I offered her my hand. "The choice is yours, sweetheart. You can stay with the financial ruin and the arrogance, or you can come home with the man who built his empire from the dirt up." The aftermath, Clara, to Julian's horror, took my hand and walked out of the ballroom with me, leaving her new husband and his ruined family in the silence of their own making. The divorce, Clara filed for divorce a week later. Julian, stripped of his family's financial leverage and facing massive debt and social ostracization, offered no resistance. The Hawthorns' collapse. I held the injunction for 3 agonizing weeks. The Hawthorne Investment Group was devastated. The bank called in their credit lines, forcing a fire sale of the historic building at a huge discount to stave off total bankruptcy. I eventually sold the alleyway lot for a significant profit to a competing developer who was happy to acquire the building. I didn't just win, I dismantled the entire structure of their entitlement. I used the despised landscaper skills, the knowledge of land and legal boundaries to show them that true power isn't inherited. It's earned in the details. My daughter learned the hardest lesson that day. Never let a man tell you where you belong. The man who arrived wasn't a hero. He was a silent partner in the most precise act of financial destruction the city had ever seen. Like this video, if you believe a father should always protect his daughter's dignity, no matter the cost. Subscribe for more stories where old money is annihilated by a small deed and a sharp mind. Share your final thoughts on Julian's public insult in the comments section below. I'll see you all in the next story.